Hello, everyone. I'm Leonel August Rodriguez, the VP of Business Development for Access Medical Labs. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on another Access Live, where we bring you insight from leading medical experts. We do ask that all questions are submitted via the Q&A, as they will be answered at the end of our lecture. Today, I am thrilled to present an expert who brings extensive experience in hormone therapy and advanced wellness solutions. Our speaker specializes in bioidentical hormone pellet therapy and the emerging role of GLP-1s for enhancing patient health outcomes. With a deep commitment to holistic and individualized care, she has helped transform the lives of many seeking balanced, sustainable health. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming today's expert, Dr. Sherry Borhan.
Welcome. This is Pellet Therapy and GLP-1s, a powerhouse duo for your practice. I'm Dr. Sherry Borhan, a board-certified OBGYN. I've been treating women that have been obese and perimenopausal, menopausal, and postmenopausal for the last 24 years. What are some of the GLP-1s? What are they? What do we use them for? GLP-1s are glucagon-like peptides. They're naturally produced predominantly in the ileum and the colon. They're a 30 amino acid peptide hormone. The GLP-1s are released in response to eating fruits, vegetable, whole grains, carbs. Mechanism of action. It triggers the pancreas to release insulin, which then hence lowers the blood sugar, blocks secretion of glucagon, decreases gastric emptying, which hence allows early satiety that affects the brain's hunger centers. Studies show that GLP-1s and GIPs, which is the gastric inhibiting peptide, increases insulin and decreases glucose for weight loss. These medications have actually been around since 2005, where the first GLP-1 was FDA approved for diabetes. During this time, we also noticed that the patients that were on these medications for diabetes had significant weight loss as well. Hence, approval of the first GLP-1, which was FDA approved for just weight loss. Again, these medications were FDA approved as pharmacological treatment for obesity and can be prescribed to overweight patients with comorbidities, mitigating a lot of risks, such as cardiovascular, such as progression of kidney disease, such as MIs, strokes, significant improvement in cardiac health, decrease in blood pressure, diastolic and systolic, as well as decrease in cholesterol. Microdosing is critical for safe and effective GLP and GIP administrations. We have an example of semaglutide dosages here. Majority of the GLP-1s are based on injections, and majority of them are weekly injections. We also have one oral form of GLP-1s. Efficacy isn't as great as the injections. However, not every patient can be on injections, whether it's compliance and or freer of injections. Hormones and weight management. This topic is an extremely important topic. Now more than ever, we realize that weight gain isn't just from caloric intake. And we know this about, especially in menopause, that menopause obesity is from a hormonal imbalance and not from caloric intake. What are some of the hormone imbalance signs that we see in patients? Weight gain, fatigue, loss of muscle mass, anxiety, insomnia, sweating, digestion problems, and cravings. So essentially from this point on, we're going to take a quick look at what some of the hormones or lack of them lead to weight gain. and management. Let's switch our focus on the sex hormones, meaning estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and how they lead to the physiological process. These hormones, again, regulate metabolism, insulin, body fat distribution, glucose, and many other functions that may trigger diabetes and impact weight gain. Again, hormones serve a vital role in metabolism and glycemic control. Moving forward, we're going to touch upon the estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and how they work with insulin, cortisol, thyroid hormones, leptin, ghrelin to regulate metabolism, and what happens when they're out of balance. So, what does estrogen do? Estrogen inhibits the action of hunger and satiety signals, preventing events of excessive calorie consumption. That's why in menopause, we experience more intense hunger signals, which encourage food intake and promote weight gain. Again, when estrogen decreases, as we see in menopause, androgen levels increase. That, with our changing hormones, with chronological aging, decrease in physical activity, and poor diet, what happens? We increase body fat, we increase waist circumference, we increase cardiovascular risk and metabolic syndrome. Hormones help to lower insulin resistance and glycemic levels. How does this work? Let's put this into perspective. When we are going through menopause, decrease in estrogen and increase in androgens, what happens is we even have a change in fat distribution. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is our metabolism changes, and the risk of metabolic complications is compounded by abdominal fat distribution. So essentially, we move the fat in the gluteal and thigh region to the abdomen and increasing our visceral fat, which then acts as active tissue to produce inflammatory markers, which then regulate metabolic dysfunction. Again, estrogen helps insulin cross the blood vessels lining into muscle and to lower glucose, essentially an insulin resistant state. What does progesterone do? Progesterone affects the metabolism. Now, the question is, if we start taking progesterone, do we lose weight? No, but low levels of progesterone can be associated with inflammation, weight gain, and difficulty reducing weight. Again, we need a balance of hormones to really be able to maintain our weight. Going to testosterone. Now we've covered estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. We know that testosterone allows us to not break down muscle mass. We know that testosterone has a positive impact on bone health. And we also know that patients that have been on long-term testosterone therapy have a significant weight reduction. And we also know the impact of testosterone on the liver, which is basically gluconeogenesis and breakdown of fats. Weighing the options, literally. So, how are we understanding the GLP-1s and the GIPs and their interactions with estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone? Understanding this allows us to really optimize our treatments for our patients. A very interesting study showed that postmenopausal women that were taking GLPs lost actually 10 to 13% more body weight in 1 year than patients that were not on hormone therapy. And this is truly significant. We have this showcased in our menopause journals, as we have seen in our takeaways here. Postmenopausal women on hormone therapy had higher total weight loss with semaglutides for up to 12 months versus no hormone therapy. Also, significantly improving cardiovascular markers, such as decrease in cholesterol, such as decrease in triglycerides, such as decrease in systolic and diastolic blood pressures, such as decrease in metabolic syndromes. Hence, we know that GLP-1s and GIP works very well with hormone therapy, as are references here. So what is the vital link? Hormone replacement therapy, the bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, I should say, and pellets. GLP-1 treatments with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is a comprehensive tool to address weight reduction, the state of insulin resistant that we talked about, body composition, metabolic syndromes, and type 2 diabetes for optimal patient care. Remember that we have about 401 million women in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. This is a huge group of patients that we can make a difference in with the GLP-1s and pellet therapy. Pellet therapy, what is it? What does it look like? It looks like a small grain of rice. It's unbelievable that something that small can have such a enormous impact on our health. Pellets have actually been around since the 1930s. So we're talking about a form of therapy that has been around for a very long time. Let's talk about what the difference is between the bioidentical pellets versus the pharmacological hormones. Bioidentical hormones, they're natural, they're plant-derived, they're not horse urine, as some hormone replacement is. And the molecules match those produced by our human hormones, almost like a mirror image. They're inserted subcutaneously by a custom dose pellets, and results are consistent 24/7 hormone delivery. That's in comparison to the creams, the gels, the troches, the pills. And by the way, we forego the liver impact, since it's it's in pellet form and we don't take it by mouth, hence bypassing the first pass effect. Improve symptom relief with minimal side effects. As I mentioned earlier, pellet therapy has been around since the 1930s. And that was when they were treating patients with radical hysterectomies back in the day. But as far as the formulation and the form of distribution, nothing has changed. Again, natural plant-based bioidentical hormone replacement therapy using subcutaneous pellets supports the most effective 24/7 hormone delivery. And I really want to highlight this because all other forms, whether you take it by mouth, the patches, the creams, gels, the troches, really have patient compliance that needs to be in check. And also, this is a steady state of distribution. A little is released daily versus, a cream or, the other forms. The power of pellet delivery. Women who received hormone pellets containing testosterone and estrogen lost an average of 3.5% body fat over 6 months and acquired an average of 2.5 muscle mass, 2.5% muscle mass, according to a 2016 study published in the Journal of Women's Health. This is really important because some of the impacts of the GLPs is muscle mass, loss of muscle mass, hence why the importance of both of them being administered together, that you're able to preserve muscle mass instead of losing muscle mass if you were only taking GLP-1s. Again, another study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism in 2017 found that hormone pellets containing testosterone improved insulin sensitivity in postmenopausal women with obesity. Numerous reports cite the safety and effectiveness of the bioidentical hormone replacement pellets. Again, we compared the sustainable administration versus the creams, the troches, and also compliance. Think about how many shots you would need in 1 year. Over 150 shots, over 730 different treatment creams versus 3 pellet treatments per year. Let's talk about the skinny on the GLP-1s and the BHRT pellets. Again, a potent synergistic combo for leveraging hormone organization to support safe and really highlight effective obesity and insulin management when medically supervised, dosed correctly and custom dosed, and administered subcutaneously, which really takes the compliance and the first pass effects of other forms. A comprehensive review of safety and efficacy of identical hormones for the management of menopause and related health risks.
Dr. Borhan, on behalf of Access Medical Laboratories, thank you for an amazing lecture on the pellet therapy and GLP, a powerhouse duo for your practice. To our audience, thank you for tuning in to another Access Live, where we bring you insight from leading medical experts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay healthy.